Welcome to you all from Auburn. This is Tamaska Mulat with the news. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed is attending the 7th Tokyo International Conference for African Development Summit. The summit holds in Yokohama from 28th to 30th August under the theme Advancing African Development Through People, Technology and Innovation. It is Olumabaina for the tale.
In his final talks, Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed met with the President of the Korean International Cooperation Agency (KOICA) to discuss further strengthening of the support to Ethiopia. He expressed appreciation to KOICA for the development work that they have undertaken in education, water and agriculture.
We hope will create opportunities for attracting foreign direct investment, especially from a friendly country, Korea.
KOICA expressed interest to further develop the cooperation with Ethiopia in various areas. According to state-run media, Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed arrived in Japan to attend the 7th Tokyo International Conference for African Development Summit after concluding his 2 days official visit to South Korea. Following Japanese Foreign Minister Taro Kano's last May invitation to Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed to attend and lead the peace and security session at the 7th TICAD, the Prime Minister departed for Japan. In addition to peace and security issues, this year's summit center of discussion are expected to be on economic reform, businesses, as well as sustainable development goals issues in Africa's Agenda 2063. This 3-day summit will be held in Yokohama, Japan from August 28th up to 30 under the theme Advancing Africa's Development Through People, Technology and Innovation. Meanwhile, according to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ethiopian Minister of Foreign Affairs Gaddu Andargacho, along with his delegates from Ethiopia, is holding talks on the African Ministry Summit in Japan on the draft document of Yokohama Declaration, which is expected to be adopted when the summit commences at heads of state level. The TICAD conference that was initiated by Japan in 1919 aims at supporting Africa's effort to eradicate poverty and backwardness and focuses on peace and security. The Japanese government hosts the summit in concert with United Nations Development Program, African Union Commission and World Bank. Began in 1993 to promote Africa's development, TICAD has over the years grown into a major global and multilateral forum for mobilizing and sustaining international support for Africa's development.
Ethiopia's Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed received the Heysel Peace Prize. The Asian Peace Prize 2019 goes to the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. This was announced by the board of the trust in Wiesbaden on Tuesday. It pays tribute to what has moved the 43-year-old in the short time since taking office in April 2018. In his first year in office, Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed released descendants, fired corrupt officials, and sealed historic reconciliation. For this, he now received the Asian Peace Prize. Abiy has become the hopeful, especially through the conclusion of the peace treaty with the neighboring country of Eritrea. For 20 years, the two states had been at the state no war, no peace. Domestically, Abiy initiated political and economic reforms in the multi-ethnic nation of 105 million people. Abiy has scheduled free election for May 2020. This year, his campaign to plant 4 billion tree seedlings for residents across the country made headlines. According to the Asian Show D, the decision to award the Ethiopian Prime Minister was announced on Tuesday by the members of the Board of Trustees, President of the Laduteng CDU, the Asian Foundation for Peace and Conflict Research. The award ceremony will take place on 23 September in Landtag. Minister of Education Dr. Talai Gete said that the new education roadmap will give a special emphasis to mother tongue. The roadmap is expecting to fully implement in the coming new academic year. The ministry announced that the necessary preparation has been completed to organize education conference in Jigjiga town. Here is Mukhtar Raji for more.
Minister of Education announced that the recently designed education and training roadmap shows only the direction to the regions to be followed. Rather, it would never affect the language spoken in the region. Minister of Education Dr. Tlai Geto, while briefing the media, said the roadmap would never create impacts on mother tongue languages of the students, but it explicitly showed the education system that the country will follow as per age of the kids to join the schools and to end their secondary schools. Dr. Tlai said the kids will follow their KG schools since they're 5 and they join their primary schools at their 7. Accordingly, the secondary school time of students will end at their 80 years old. He said the roadmap shows that the students will continue their education by their mother tongue even after their junior school. Hence, regional states are empowered to administer primary and junior schools. The issue of Amharic language said to be taught from grade 1 in all regions, which was the recently prime agenda, was never been concerned by the roadmap. The issue of Amharic language to start teaching from grade 1 is recently a prime agenda. Where does this agenda come from? It is the responsibility of media to provide proper information to the public regarding this. Dr. Tlai said after discussion held with concerned bodies, the roadmap has been directed to Council of Ministers to be checked well. Such different issues related to the roadmap were also being inculcated in it. The State Minister of Education, Dr. Garamahulluka, said the roadmap permits regional states to teach by their respective languages. He said the roadmap also empowered them to teach federal working languages in their respective regions based on their interest. The roadmap will be discussed well on 29th General Assembly of Education, which will held in Jigjiga.
Canada's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Chrystia Freeland, has announced that Canada will provide $1 million in funding to support the 2020 election in Ethiopia. Canada supports Ethiopia's effort to implement reforms and strengthen democratic institutions, which are essential for the conduct of credible, inclusive, and peaceful election, the minister said. The funding will be provided through the United Nations Development Program and will be drawn from the $10 million Promoting and Protecting Democracy Fund, which Mr. Freeland announced during the Global Conference for Media Freedom in London, United Kingdom in July 2019. Canada's support for this project will help Ethiopia's electoral management bodies increase its capacity in areas such as voter registration and post-electoral support, put in place transparency measures like establishing appropriate dispute resolution system, and build trust with the electorates, including through voters' education. The project will have a special focus on women, youth, and ethnic groups in all regions of the country. It's remarkable that Japan signed an agreement with UNDP to provide $3 million, the multi-partner program supporting election for Ethiopia's democracy is strengthening. Ethiopia has named as the world's most welcoming country in an open poll on popular travel site Rough Guide. The site describes Ethiopia as profoundly beautiful in a poll that supports East Africa's tourist destination. Fikadu Brown has more.
The site describes Ethiopia as profoundly beautiful in a poll that supports East Africa's rise as a tourist destination. Rough Guides, which is a British travel guidebook, took to social media to ask its followers for their pick of the most welcoming countries they have experienced. Uganda also made the top 3, while Kenya sits at the 7th in a list of the 10 most welcoming countries in the world. 3 East African countries make the top 10 alongside 2 representatives from Southeast Asia and South America respectively, while Ethiopia and Uganda take top and third spots in the poll, sitting either side of India in second place. Ethiopia is emerging as a potential leader for tourism in Africa, already showing signs of becoming East Africa's hottest destination. Last year, Ethiopia was named as the world's best tourism destination by the European Council on Tourism and Trade. Now it is being called the most welcoming country in one of the most popular online travel resources. Top of the list sees Ethiopia, a profoundly beautiful East African country which is a history that stretches back many thousands of years. It was never colonized. The tribal customs and hospitable tradition you can see here are largely just as they have always been. Take the Ethiopian coffee ceremony. The women of the household roast, grind and boil the aromatic beans before presenting 3 consecutive cups of exceptionally fresh coffee to their guests, which considered as a real mark of friendship. Despite unrests in parts of Ethiopia over the last couple of years, the numbers of tourists continue to rise, and investment, both foreign and domestic, paints a positive picture for tourism in the East African country.
Ambo Town Development Committee announced that they are striving to flourish the town at the center of conference and tourism. The committee conferred with legislator. Aklilu Gabru has more on that.
A committee that was established to facilitate Ambo Town development has held discussion with all civil servants of the zone. Ambo University President and coordinator of the committee, Dr. Taddese Qanaa, pointed out that the discussion is needed to have common understanding for what has been done so far. First, we've reported what we have done so far and what we intended to do next. Then we are here to initiate civil servants to contribute their share for development of Ambo Town. Dr. Taddese added that more than 100 million birr has been collected, which enhances development projects that will be launched sooner. Mayor of Ambo Town, Terefe Badhaadha, for his part, urged residents of the town to contribute their share for the future betterment of the town. Ambo was the epicenter of Oromo struggle. We have to repeat a history by making Ambo the center of economy. To do so, we urge you to be by our side with your knowledge and finance. Administrator of West Shoa Zone, Galana Nuresa, urged residents of the zone to act in unison for the prosperity of Ambo Town. Some participants of the discussion expressed to actively involve themselves in the development endeavors of Ambo Town. We have to take the initiative to do everything possible for the development of Ambo Town, like clearing the pavements and other preliminary activities.
The road that connects Ethiopia and Eritrea will be inaugurated in the coming Ethiopian New Year, according to the Ministry of Transport. Eritrea will complete the huge road project and inaugurate it in the middle of the next Ethiopian year. The 90-kilometer road construction, which commenced a year ago, has reached 90%, and the remaining part would be completed in the next couple of days. The newly constructed road has doubled its width from 6 meters to 12.2 meters, and 25 new bridges are built. The road, which will have paramount impact on the bilateral relationship of the two countries, is being constructed by 5 Eritrean contractors, including the Defense Force. The renovation and construction of the road is covered by the government of Eritrea. Many thanks for joining us. That's all for now. Have a good time.